UFC 290 is happening on International Fight Week this weekend, July 8th, and I'm going to break down the entire card, giving you my picks and potential plays for the whole card. We're going to start off with the first fight, work our way up towards the main event, which is, of course, Volkanovski versus Yair Rodriguez for the featherweight title. Let's just get right into it. We're starting off the early prelims with Kem Wellakirk versus Esteban Ribovic. I'm going to be taking Esteban Ribovic. I just think he's a higher level guy. Kamala Kirk has, he's getting finished by Damon Jackson, who's not. Damon Jackson's not a bottom feeder, terrible kind of bottom of the barrel guy. But Esteban Ribovic's only loss is to Loic Radzaboev, who's a gigantic mutant monster man. And I know he just lost. He just lost to Mattheus Rebecki, but I think that's just more Rebecki being a really, really talented guy as opposed to Loic being like a lower level guy. I think Esteban Ribovic gets this one done. Probably by finish. Probably by. It's hard to pick because he's got such an even split for TKOs and submissions. And I think he's a better grappler than Kem Wellakirk. I think he's a better striker than Kem Wellakirk. I'm going to say TKO. I think he's going to get it done by like second round TKO. Moving up, we have Shannon Ross versus Jesus Aguilar. Shannon Ross is coming off back-to-back TKO losses. I just don't see him bouncing back and beating Jesus Aguilar. I just don't. I just literally do not see it. You know, he's 34 years old. He's not a young guy. Jesus Aguilar is kind of a submission machine. Could I see Shannon Ross outstriking Jesus Aguilar and maybe getting a TKO? Maybe. Like, it could maybe happen. Like, I could see that playing, but gun to my head, I think I'm taking Jesus Aguilar by submission. I think I am. I think he's going to manhandle Shannon Ross in the grappling department. Yeah, I talked myself into it. I think I'm going with Jesus Aguilar probably by submission. But I wouldn't be surprised if Shannon Ross maybe could work something out on the feet. Maybe. But I doubt it. Next fight, we have Cameron Simon, South African prospect, versus Terence Mitchell. Now, there's not a lot that I could find about Terence Mitchell. I found a little bit of tape of him, and I don't think his striking is very good. I think it's a good couple of levels below Cameron Simon's striking. And I don't think Terence Mitchell's going to be able to out-grapple Cameron Simon. He seems pretty adept at all things grappling. Like, he doesn't seem lost with takedown defense or takedown entries. He's also 11 years younger, man, and that youth is a big thing. Terence Mitchell does have experience, but I'm taking Cameron Simon probably by like round 1 or 2 TKO. Honestly, I feel like he gets him out of there pretty quickly. I wouldn't recommend playing him at minus 440. So I'd probably take him at like round 2 TKO, I think. Moving up, we got another prospect fight. We have Tatsuro Taira versus Edgar Chairez. Once again, I'm going with the prospect. I'm going with Tatsuro Taira. This guy impresses me quite a bit with his grappling maturity. He's very, very, very patient. He's very good. He's very clean. Everything he does is very calculated when it comes to grappling. So I don't see Edgar being able to hang out with him on the ground for very long. I feel like Tatsuro will break him down and make him make a mistake and snatch his neck pretty quickly, honestly. Tatsuro's striking is a little bit like I don't go crazy for his striking. I think it's pretty average. But it's good enough to set up his shot. And once he gets his arms around your legs, that's genuinely where the problems begin to happen. He uses most of his striking just to set up that entry, that shot. So I see Tatsuro Taira getting this done by sub. Yeah, by sub. I was gonna pick a round, but it's kind of hard. because you really never know. Uh, but yeah, Tatsuro Taira by submission, I think is a fair bet. Moving up, we have Vitor Petrino versus Marcin Prelims. This is our last early prelim, I believe. Now, Vitor Petrino looked like absolute dog shit against Anton Turkauj. And I don't think Anton Turkauj is that good. But Marcin Prelims does not have a chin. So it's like, it's a guy with 0 fight IQ and a guy with 0 chin. Like, I don't, I don't know. Straight up. Petrino's minus 280, which is kind of crazy to me. Prelims got experience. He's also got a lot of experience getting chinned the fuck unconscious by Sam Alvey. So, I see two ways this fight goes. I see Vitor Petrino running in like a spastic and knocking him out in like 2 minutes. And then I also see Vitor Petrino doing that, not knocking him out, and Marcin Prelims tap dances to a decision because Vitor Petrino has 0 fight IQ. Yeah, this fight's a little bit sketchy for me, honestly, when I look at this. I'm going to take Vitor Petrino. I'm going to take him by TKO, KO or TKO. But I don't like it. But I'm taking it. Because I can't rely. It's like, I got like 2 rules when it comes to betting MMA. I don't bet on dudes with bad chins, and I don't bet on women's MMA. Those are my 2 rules. And Marcin Prelims, he's got a bad chin, so I can't rely on him to take a shot. Moving up to the prelims, we have Jimmy Crute, Alonzo Minnifield 2. Now, in their first meeting, I played Jimmy Crute at like minus 250. So, you know, I'm playing him at evens with Alonzo Minnifield. Now, both guys royally fucked up in that fight. Alonzo Minnifield had Jimmy Crute literally on ice skates the entire second and third round and the end of the first round. And he still got out grappled by Jimmy Crute anytime they engaged in grappling. In the first round, Jimmy Crute was dominating until he got, he did the chicken dance for a little bit. I think Jimmy Crute is going to approach this fight much more tactically than he did in that fight. I think maybe fighting in Australia in front of the hometown crowd kind of got to him. A little bit. I think now that he's been in there with Alonzo Minnifield, he recognizes the imminent danger that are Alonzo Minnifield's hands. You can't get touched by him. So you got to get in and out with your strikes, and you're going to want to neutralize this guy with your grappling as soon as possible. And Jimmy Crute has some of the best grappling at light heavyweight. The guy's got a submission over Paul Craig. You know what I'm saying? Like, he's a great grappler. I think he's going to implement his game plan much more intelligently this fight. I think he's going to get it done by submission. I'm going Jimmy Crute sub, or Jimmy Crute ML, because he's evens right now with Alonzo. So, yeah. Moving up, we've got Jack Della Maddalena versus a guy they found outside of a Home Depot, Josiah Harrell. No, that's fucked up. Yeah, I'm going Jack Della Maddalena, probably by KO. Josiah Harrell is a 5'7" lightweight fighter. Tough debut, man. I don't really have much to say about that. Good luck. Good luck, man. Moving up, we have Yasmine Uruguay versus Denise Gomes. I feel like it's a pretty simple fight to break down. I just feel like Yasmine Uruguay is going to outstrike her pretty badly. Yeah, I feel like Yasmine's probably going to win by like late TKO or decision. I really don't have much to say about this fight. Yasmine Uruguay is better on the feet. So I think she's going to either TKO or win a 29-28 decision. Moving up, we have Robbie Lawler's retirement fight against Nico, the hybrid price. This is an exciting fight but it's also kind of a fight for me personally where I'm sad no matter what happens because I fucking love Nico Price to death. That dude's awesome. And obviously Robbie Lawler's an absolute legend of the sport. Everybody knows Robbie Lawler. Everybody loves Robbie Lawler. So yeah, I'm gonna be hurt no matter what happens here, but I do think Nico Price is gonna get this one done. I don't think Robbie Lawler's got it in him anymore, man. I don't. I hate to say it, but I just don't think he can be in a sustained brawl with Nico Price. You know what I mean? Like if they get in a pocket and they start exchanging, I feel like Robbie Lawler will fall before Nico Price because he's just been in too many wars. Not that Nico Price hasn't been in his fair share of fucking wars. It's just Robbie Lawler's been in like 40 of them, dude. You know what I mean? And that Barberena fight, he was looking solid. He had some pop in his shots in the first round, but then it just fell apart once he started to get clipped. And Nico Price hits way harder than Brian Barberena does. Nico Price has weird finishing power a lot of the time. So I worry for Robbie. I would like to see Robbie win, even though I like Nico Price. Just, send him off into the sunset with a dub. That'd be great. But I just really don't see it happening, man. I think Nico Price gets this one done probably by like round 2 TKO or round 3 TKO. Jumping up to the main card, we have the ugliest ginger man in the world, BoNichols, taking on Black Darren Till, Tresean Gore. BoNichols minus 1200. I wouldn't play this dude at minus 1200 ever. Because I don't know shit about him. Like, I know he's a god tier wrestler. He's a freak wrestler. But I watched his fight with Jamie Pickett, and the only reason the guy got the takedown is because he kneed him in the dick. Not that BoNichols wouldn't have taken him down if he didn't knee him in the dick, but like that's all I have to go off of is that he kneed Jamie Pickett in the dick and got a takedown, basically. So minus 1200 is crazy to me. The only way I'm betting this fight is I am sprinkling a little on Tresean Gore, probably by KO, straight up, because I could see one universe in the multiverse where BoNichols gets caught on the chin by Tresean Gore and he just falls over. Because I don't even know if BoNichols has a chin. We haven't even seen that. I have no idea. I mean, BoNichols almost assuredly going to win. Like, I give this like a 90-10% chance. Like 90% BoNichols, 10% Tresean Gore. And that's me being generous to Tresean Gore. Because he got thrown around by Brian Battle. And Brian Battle is not the grappler BoNichols is. But I can just see a universe where maybe where Tresean taps him and he falls over. Who knows? I'm just not playing BoNichols at minus 1200. Maybe first round sub you could play BoNichols, but even then I still don't think there's that much value in that. Next on the list, we have Jalen Turner versus Dan Hooker. Fun fight, but I feel like this one's pretty predictable. I feel like Jalen Turner is just going to be able to smoke Dan Hooker at range. Dan Hooker does not have head movement, like at all. He kind of just stands there and lets you punch him in the face over and over again. But the problem is, if you do that for so long, your chin kind of falls off. It kind of falls off like a cliff eventually. And I think it has done that at that point. I don't think Dan Hooker is nearly as tough as he was before fighting guys like Dustin Poirier. So I can see Jalen Turner just catching him at range and Dan Hooker not really being able to land anything super effective of his own. There's obviously a world where Dan Hooker could pull out this win. I just don't see it. I feel like the smart money's probably on Jalen Turner inside the distance, probably by maybe late TKO or submission. Jalen Turner's got those long arms. He can snatch up submissions. He's pretty adept at snatching up subs once he gets a guy hurt. But yeah, I'm taking Jalen Turner for sure. Moving up, we have basically a title eliminator here. We have Robert Whittaker versus Dricus du Plessis. I feel like this one's a no-brainer. I'm taking Robert Whittaker, most likely by decision or like late TKO. I'd probably play decision over anything because Dricus is a very tough guy. He's very durable. He doesn't go away easy. But I think Robert Whittaker's just levels above him as far as speed, technique, fight IQ, even grappling, honestly. Uh, I can see a fucked up, demented world where Dricus du Plessis does catch Robert Whittaker, though. And that would mean we truly are living in the worst timeline if that happens. Uh, I've had fucking nightmare visions about Dricus du Plessis knocking out Robert Whittaker. I wake up in a cold sweat on my Tempur-Pedic mattress crying because I had a dream of Dricus du Plessis fucking wheel kicking Robert Whittaker unconscious. Uh, but yeah, I'm taking Robert Whittaker by decision. Next up, we got the co-main event flyweight title fight: Brandon Moreno versus Alejandro Pantoja. This is an interesting fight. Mostly because of the odds. Like Alejandro is plus 170 right now, and I want to take Pantoja, and I think I will. I think I have talked myself into it just now. He's beaten Moreno twice. He's finished him and then dominated him. And he's still just been looking disgusting. Like he's been looking crazy good. He has a legitimate win over Brandon Royval, and Brandon Royval is my favorite flyweight. He's been cooking a lot of the division on his own. He's got a finish over him. On the feet, he went all 3 rounds and won a decision over Manel Kape, who's a fucking monster kickboxer. He smoked Perez in like 2 minutes. Pantoja's a problem, and he's beat this guy twice. Now, I can see a universe where he's a little too overconfident, and in his head he's like, "Oh, I beat this guy twice. I'm just gonna smoke him," and then he doesn't smoke him, and then he gets smoked. But I don't feel like Alejandro is that much of an idiot to be super overconfident, like he's just gonna walk through this guy. But I do see him winning. I do see him kind of blitzing him. I do see him getting Moreno's back. I see him being a lot stronger than Moreno in the grappling. And able to scramble with Moreno when he tries to scramble out. I think he's a little bit worse on the feet than Brandon Moreno, but he's not bad on the feet. He's super capable. He's super able to strike with him. So I'm gonna take Pantoja submission. I feel like he's gonna get a submission here. Moving up to the main event, Alexander the Great Volkanovski taking on Yair Rodriguez. This is a fun fight. This is an exciting fight. The odds are pretty crazy. I didn't think Volk would be a minus 420. Honestly, I didn't. I mean, I guess I see it. But this is one of the very few fights for Volkanovski. Some about it just weirds me out. It's kind of similar to the Robert Whittaker and Dricus du Plessis thing, where I just have these visions of Volk getting caught, and I can't shake it because logistically, Volkanovski is going to dog walk him. But man, it's going to be treacherous. You know what I mean? Like it might get a little sketchy. It might get a little hairy because Yair is fucking weird. And he can catch you with anything. I mean, he smoked Josh Emmett in under 2. That's impressive, considering how tough that guy fucking looked against Ilia Topuria. Smoking that guy in under 2, that's crazy. But man, Volk is just... He just seems like he's levels above everybody. Like, it doesn't seem like there's anybody close. So, smart money is on Volkanovski, probably by decision. I don't think he's going to submit him. I could see him TKOing him maybe in like round 4 or 5 if Yair gasses. But I wouldn't hate it if you sprinkled Yair by KO or TKO. Hell, even by sub, actually. I know Volk looks impossible to sub if you've watched the Ortega fight, but Yair's been kind of throwing up some submissions recently. Against Brian Ortega, he hurt him with a submission. Brian Ortega, what was it? His shoulder? He blew out his shoulder because he was caught in a submission of Yair Rodriguez. And I do believe Yair finished Josh Emmett with a submission pretty recently too. So I think he could catch him with something. Realistically, there's value in that. It could happen. It's unlikely as fuck, but it could happen if you want to sprinkle it, right? But my pick is Volkanovski decision. But yeah, that's the card. If you guys enjoyed this, feel free to leave a like. Drop a comment. Let me know if you agree with my picks or if you think there's a way I could improve these videos. Because I wanted to make these for a while just because I really like, the sport of MMA. I love watching it. I love talking about it with my friends. So I figured, why not make some content on it? It just gives me like an extra hobby, I guess. But yeah, I hope you guys liked it. I'll see you.